Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. It's Dr. Sarah, and today I want to talk to you about honoring our kinships and relationships as a major contributor to our health and the danger of placing the quest for health above connections. I've been speaking lately about the power of our exposome. And do you know what the exposome is? It's the sum of our environmental exposures from conception all the way to present time. And these factors, these environmental influences, actually complement our genes. In other words, what we are exposed to can affect the way that the genes express themselves in our red, making the cell either function more effectively or function less effectively. Now, we've all heard the term food as medicine, and this is true up to a point. And it's true to the fact that diet is one way that we can alter our genetic expression, right? The nutrients come into our body and they feed our cells and help our cells perform different functions. And we've done so many cool studies about specific nutrients and how they modulate specific pathways in the cell and what they do to help our longevity or make our enzymes function better to help us get out toxic chemicals that we're exposed to, or perhaps help fuel an enzyme that isn't as effective or as efficient as maybe it could be if it was given that nutrient, because we have a genetic variation in that enzyme and that nutrient helps it speed up or slow down in the way that it functions the best. But there's also other things that affect how our cells function. And these are things not as tangible. They include things like, are we getting enough rest? And are we actually allowing ourselves some sleep? Are we exercising or moving? I don't really like the term exercise. I like the term joyful movement, because exercise feels like a chore for a lot of people that are already stressed out. And stress is actually an epigenetic modulator. But another big thing that can affect how healthy we are and the way that our cells function is the power of our relationships and our connections. And I've talked about this in previous video blogs and also in my articles about the importance of our cultural perceptions, right? Our belief patterns, because those actually affect how our physiology changes at the level of our cell. So if we're believing certain things from the friends and relationships that we're connected with, that's going to affect our health. And then just even the aspect of being around people and getting the physical touch that our bodies are meant to have, or just connecting with other human beings actually raises different levels of chemicals and hormones like oxytocin in our bloodstream that modulate our cellular health and physiology. And that's all cool. And they've actually done studies that show that isolation is actually a bigger predictor of cardiac mortality, that's death, than some of the physical factors, smoking and not moving or taking care of ourselves, or even a healthy diet. I'd like you to keep that in mind, because right now we're in a little bit of a healthism in our society, and it scares me a little bit. And I also have been part of this, so I make a public apology for anyone that I've scared the health out of. Literally now, because food has the power to heal, we've also been, and I will say many people in the integrative community, maybe unintentionally, have been scaring people to eat, to the point where people don't even know what to eat anymore. And they don't know how to trust their hunger. We don't question when we need to use the bathroom, which is a normal physiological function, but many people question their own appetite and when they're actually physically hungry, because it's actually gotten scared the health out of us. So I want you to remember that, especially during this time and the seasons that are coming up at a time of togetherness. Many people are placing their fitness and their diets above gathering together with their tribes and their kinships and the people that they love most, because they don't share this food belief. Food is a place of nourishment and gathering together. It isn't meant to scare people or separate. And I think we need to kind of reevaluate what health is. If health is simply just how much you exercise and what you eat, that leaves for an unbalanced holistic lifestyle, and it isn't going to produce the longevity you deserve or probably want. How do I know this? Because there's blue zones, and these blue zones are these areas across the world of centenarians that everybody lives to a very ripe old age, and they lack the chronic diseases we have. And everyone's tried to micromanage and analyze and get to the nitty-gritty detail of why these people live longer. And many people want to say it's diet or exercise. But what they found is none of these groups have one thing in common on what they eat or exactly how they move. They do move, but the one thing that they have in most in common is they celebrate life, whether that be through celebrating food, and they celebrate togetherness. Okay, so they celebrate togetherness, whether that be celebrating food, whether that be celebrating their daily activities. Some of them smoke and do things that we think are unhealthy, drink every day or drink lots of coffee or alcohol, and they still live in their hundreds. Now, genetics are at play, but also I think these people are more chill than we are, and they also honor relationships over kind of some of the things that we worry about, six-pack abs, or, you know, if we look the best that we could look on our Instagram photos. These things, they have their place, and I think it's really cool that we can connect to people and show off our best sides. But I think it's also important to remember, especially with the holiday season coming up, that if you've been scared the health out of by if you should go to a gathering because maybe they might not be eating what you think is comfortable for you, I would like to contend with and just contemplate what's really important to you. Maybe you do feel that diet is your number one thing and it's more important, and you want to find other people that think that way. That's your prerogative. But I know for me it's important to keep my mind open and stay around people that might not necessarily think exactly like me, but that offer other benefits that nourish me in other ways. So I hope this was helpful for you. I've also provided the link to the article because it gives some of the science and actual studies and research that they've done with the blue zones and the prevalence of eating disorders and how healthism can cause stigma and bias and the whole obesity paradox. It provides all those reference links if you want to get into it. And I know this might be controversial, and I know some people might not like this or believe this or want to hear this. But I'm just putting myself out there with this because most of my time is actually spent with people trying to get them to expand their palate, not decrease it, because they're already doing everything and they basically eliminated all foods for fear of it. And they're also, because they're so malnourished, don't have the energy that they need to contribute and stay in their relationships. All right, I will stop now, get off my soapbox, and let you go enjoy the rest of your October, because we're heading into November pretty soon. Can you believe it? I will be back with you soon. Thanks a lot for spending this time with me. If you're on YouTube, I'd love for you to like or subscribe to my channel so that you get more updates and see what's going on in my world and what I'm kind of thinking about, and comment and share and build a community. And Facebook, please comment. And anybody on my blog, I'd like you to comment there too. So thanks a lot, you guys. I'll be back. Bye.